Speaking of genetics, I have a Jewish stomach. I'm going to tell you what it means. It means that I am about to shit, shitting, or thinking about shitting, or farting all the time. I'm farting right now. This has been a problem for my entire life. I'm really sorry if you're eating. Like that's your fault though, because you chose to get food. So this goes back a while to the days when I was a teenager, or I guess a little older than that. There are several installments of this, and really the bottom line is that you need to know from the beginning is that the need to shit is, of course, it's constant, but it actually is born of a deep anxiety, which I learned that I have as a diagnosable thing just a few years ago. So all the shitting that had led up to the anxiety diagnosis now makes sense. But there are so many installments of the needing to shit in places where you're not really supposed to shit. So I thought I'd just, tell you about a few of them. I'll be quick. The shitting is not quick. So I'm standing outside with a girl I liked in college, and I'm trying to get her to sleep with me, or at least recognize that there might be some attraction there. And of course, the need to shit begins to swell up as it does, and the bloating and the farting and everything is happening, and I'm trying to control it. And she's oblivious because she's not a Jew, so she doesn't understand why this is happening. And I'm explaining this to her. That I'm basically in love with her, and she's like, I'm not interested in that. And I'm like, I can't. There's a moment here that's happening right now, and I can't let it go. So if I say to her, listen, I really have to take a shit. Can we continue this after I evacuate in your dorm room? It would ruin the moment. So I just kept going, and eventually, again, apologies for those who are eating or have just eaten. It can happen that if you don't shit when you immediately need to shit, it will find other ways. The body has a will. So it came out the other way. This was going to be the D word. So it came out the front in liquid form, and it was a shame. Yeah. So needless to say, we did not sleep together that night or any night, and it was pretty embarrassing. And but the need to shit continues. In the coming years, I was at a party. I'd spent a year off after college. I went to Israel. See past stories. And the people I were hanging out with, they were party people, and they like to go to have parties in the desert, which is a thing that you do in Israel because there's deserts. So we did that, and there's also this thing that I didn't realize until later on, which is that if you drink a lot of alcohol, you tend to need to shit, and the time frame shrinks. So drink shit like it's really fast. So we're in the party, and it's really great to have somebody laugh so hard right in the front row. I'll pay you later. So I'm in the desert, and everybody's dancing, and I've got, they're hot girls again, and so there's the same sort of situation when I'm trying to be cool, but then I have to shit. And so I turn to my friends, and I'm like, listen, we got to go, because I have to shit. And they're like, just shit in the desert, man. It's the desert. And I'm like, I'm not going to shit in the desert. I can't do that. It's not humane. And so what we wound up doing is we wound up actually breaking into somebody's, there's a youth hostel room, and because it was a tourist spot. So we broke into it was these girls' room. We broke into their room, and I took a shit in their toilet, and I had my friends keep watch. And they're like, hurry up. And I'm like, you can't hurry these things. You just got to take your time. And they're like, just hurry up. So that was the second time. And then there's many, many more of these stories. So it's hard to pick good ones, because there's so many of them. Here's another desert shitting story. I'll give you that. So several years later, back in Israel again, I think I'll stop it at 3, right? 3's enough for you? 3 shitting stories? Hat trick, right? I did shit in a hat once. So I guess, yeah, hat trick indeed. So this story took place back in Israel several years later. I went back to visit again. This was in graduate school. The details don't matter. And I had once again gotten very, very, very drunk the night before. And so the feeling was on me, and we were out in the desert. And earlier we had a lesson. You know, this is Israel. It's the Jewish tradition. It's history. And so there was like parts of the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, the Holy Bible from God, you know. And we were in the place where God spoke to Moses in the desert. Remember? Do you remember? God spoke to Moses, and he said, and so I had that in my pocket because we'd had that lesson before. And I was like, oh, I gotta go, and there's no place to go, and so I'm lying there in the sand, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm gonna finally have to shit in the desert. It's gonna happen. 5 years later, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. So off I went, and I found a little ridge, and dropped trowel and let go, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna wipe myself with? There's no dormitory to break into, no toilet paper around, and I realized my back pocket, Hebrew Bible, God's holy word. That's what I wipe my ass with. I wipe my ass with God's holy word. So yes, the body has a will, but sometimes God has a way.